A 60s jazz flair, so we're told, with this soundtrack and colours and look. It certainly is something. I'm Couch Coop and we're going to be looking at 2 games. You've got a double whammy today. Just checked, this one is only Switch and Game Pass, and hand on heart, don't lay down money for this game. If you've got Game Pass going at £6, have a look, because you've got a whole bunch of games in this vein, including the mammoth that is Overcooked 1 and 2 and Moving Out. And I recently reviewed something called Fueled Up. I'll put the link in the description. Fueled Up is also taking place in space, and it is even more dissipated version of those big name games mentioned previously. Is there a little table tennis mini game with low gravity that you can play inside the space stations? Is there F? I was supposed to point out that this game is not single player offline. You have to play this with a couch co-op buddy. The only other games I know that do that are of course Way Out and It Takes Two. You gotta have some kahunas to roll a game out that is not accessible for someone sitting on their own. There is a multiplayer online. Even look at that. Of course I didn't. The channel's not called Is There Multiplayer Online? Is it doing anything that separates it from Fueled Up, Overcooked, or anything else that's, you know, a twin sticky, I'll call it a puzzler? That's a really tough question. It's a flat no. This is just a shadow of Fueled Up, and even a less vivid shadow of the other games, but it has got its nuances. You actually can control the ship and take it places. A little bit like Dangerous Lovers in a Space-Time. Lovers in a Dangerous Space-Time. And fuel is really a thing, and you lose a mission if you run out of fuel. Not only do you lose a mission, you'll get put right back to the stage at the beginning where you have to go and get those tanks filled up. Now, you might have seen at the beginning of the video the guy doing like a QTE dance. This is there to sort of entertain the guests. Now let's get to that. Not only do they turn the gravity off, right, which was damn funny to be fair, but they need entertaining and feeding, and there could be more than one. I think that's its prime angle, is you've got a mini game there where someone's got to just cater for the guests. You can even throw some of them out of the spaceship itself. Do you encounter violent extraterrestrials with guns that kick the side of the spaceship in and sort of machine gun spray the whole room? Again, do you F? If you can see in the top right, there was these silhouettes that said stops, which is basically submissions within a quest that you have to go to. So there's multiple different goals, and you have to do a bit of fuel management, entertain who you've got on board, and maintain the ship itself. You do have to fix a lot of stuff. The fixing thing is pretty identical. It's like a timed event, little meter runs down, but one of the weird things is you have to use this spanner, which is in the bottom left of the vehicle. You have to get it and then put it back. They've tried to make that like an innovative job in itself, and it's the most ball achy thing you have to do in the whole game. Where's the spanner? Put the spanner back. It's not in this case. Yeah, so that was Spacelines from the Far Out. Yeah, I had to Google that again. I've slipped my mind in the time it's taken me to talk to you about it. Very highly recommend going and looking at my Overcooked video and Lovers in a Dangerous Space-Time, and of course the amazing Moving Out. All of links are in the descript. You get me. This game defaulted to a different language, and I thought, damn, I'm going to have a go at this, see if I can work it all out. I had a damn good crack at it. Merge and Blade is just, it's weird. I'm touching my temples as I'm saying this, because I'm not sure where it comes from, what it wants, and how on earth it managed to make it onto, you know, one of the biggest streaming gaming services in the world. I'm being a bit harsh. I know, you just go to the cog, it's not rocket science, Coop, work it out, and I did in the end. But let's just unpack, what the hell are we looking at here? This is the single player. There is more modes, but at the moment you're playing what the game's got to offer you on a sort of base level. You saw then this weird like stacking screen. So it's in 2 sections. It's a little bit like one of those battle simulator games that you get, but the sort of 7-bit version of that. So when you're stacking your troops that you get given at the start of a fight, if you duplicate them, they double up and sort of rank up. A little bit like Columns or Candy Crush, anything else. You get like a set of them and they'll turn into something harder and bigger. You get these Black Knights. It's pretty cool. Now, during the actual fight itself, you can start moving stuff around if it's got low health, so there's some strategy here. You don't control the speed, there is no pause button to my knowledge, you just sort of click go and it all unfolds. But it's not terrible, and it's 700 megabyte as well. Its soundtrack is pretty full on as well, quite loud and not too varied. And when you're given options after fights, I think you get the chance to upgrade or spend money on health. You get this like choice, which is almost a roguelike direction, which brings me over to that screen at the front there. Roguelike is actually a game mode with a lock on it, which I didn't get to, but holy crap, there's a versus. And I was thinking, this is advertised as a local co-op game. Where is it? There it is. It's just one versus mode. Now, versus modes in local co-op games can make or break them. I own local co-op games just because of their good versus modes. Is this one of them? Well, just hang around, because I've just worked out how to put the English on. Yeah, it's diabolical. It's the most bare bones 2D scrap of game mode you'll get in an indie. But that's there and it's funny. It never stops, so it's a bit weird. You just sort of build up your armies, go at each other. There's no real unlocks, there's no real tiers, there's nothing cosmetic to change. A little bit annoying because I was thinking deep down this could be really good. Again, this is Windows and Xbox, not even a Switch release, so a bit of a rarity. Platform exclusive, Microsoft exclusive, let's say. But you don't need to worry over on the Sony side. In actual fact, local versus or offline versus modes in couch co-op games is one of my biggest passions with the genre, and I've put a list of 26 absolute humdingers together, including a game called Mushroom Wars 2, which has barely been on the channel, and it only features in that particular video. And it's a bit like Cronkoid Wars 2, it's a big old versus RTS on console, plays on the PlayStation 5 also. So what we're going to do with Merge and Blading, well, I've got no idea. Probably keep it on the hard drive for a couple of weeks, see if I can finish it. It is funny, and I want to just explore that roguelike mode, so it's worth unlocking that. It must be pretty okay, they wouldn't have put a padlock on it otherwise, he says. Just about to review another indie game as well, coming up very soon, single player, and it's got something big to do with what we've all been talking about over this last couple of weeks. So I have been Couch, and I will see you then.